My name is Dr. Latoya Bosworth, but I'm also known to others as Brenda's Chat. I am a motivational speaker and educator, and I am a workshop facilitator. In all of my workshops, all of my speaking, all encompasses HERS, which is health, empowerment, resiliency, and self-worth. As a child, I experienced trauma at an early age with the loss of my mother, and I continued to suffer additional losses, and I struggled a lot as a result of that with eating disorders and anger and depression. And as I got older, with the help of mentors and with my education, I learned a little bit about those experiences, and I was able to reframe them and create meaning from them. And so my goal is to help others create meaning from their trauma and from some of their experiences, and for them to understand that their circumstances don't define them. I have been a special education teacher for 15 years, working with students who have social, emotional, and behavioral disabilities. I am also a behavioral specialist, and most of my experience has been with at-risk youth and families. I like to call them opportunity youth because they're just youth who haven't been given the opportunity to understand what they've experienced and how they can again create meaning from those experiences and use a strength-based approach for those. I've had a vast amount of experience working in residential programs, working in the school system, and working in community center with young people and with families, crisis intervention, family stabilization. The list goes on and on. So every workshop or motivational speech is going to be peppered with poetry, because poetry was my outlet when I was growing up, and it helped me to deal with the tragic losses and with my depression. So I like to add a little bit of poetry, a little spice to all of my workshops, so that you can understand the importance of having an outlet, some sort of positive outlet, no matter what it is, to help you deal with the stresses of life. I offer a variety of workshops for women, for teenagers, and for those who work with that population. All of the workshops vary depending on how to reframe those negative experiences, how to use writing in order to cope, how workers can work with youth on using their writing. I offer about 9 different workshops, so the workshops vary from an hour and a half to a full day. So some of the topics are defining yourselves, which helps you to deal with how the world sees you versus how you can see yourself. Other ones are using writing every day in order as a coping strategy. Another one is on gratitude. Another one is how to live your life unabashedly, which is geared more towards women. One of my favorites is an actual event that you can book me for. It's called Cultivating You and Me in Intergenerational Tea, and that's when we take young women, 11, 12 years old, and we put them in a room with women who are 20, 30, 60, and we talk about the issues that affect us as women, and then we kind of bridge the gap. One of my most popular workshops is a full day workshop that's called Got HERS, Health, Empowerment, Resiliency, and Self-Worth. And so we cover how to get that H, HERS, how to get empowered, how to be resilient, and how to claim self-worth. Knowing that you are important and that how you feel about yourself is going to dictate your ability and capability to chase your dreams. It's going to dictate how you allow others to treat you. It's going to dictate your true happiness. And so all of my workshops kind of really extend from that, and then they go outwards, but they always start within, how to be your healthy self. I think what makes me unique as a speaker and a motivational speaker is that, again, I have overcome many of those challenges. And so when people come to me and they say, hey, I'm really struggling with this, a lot of times I can identify with that. I've been able to overcome many obstacles. And so I feel like if you have the tools that will help you deal with those obstacles, that is what's going to help you go from surviving to thriving. I think some of the tools that help us all develop well, one, again, starts with us and knowing who we are, being self-aware and loving ourselves. I think having a mentor in every single department of your life is going to be helpful, and also having some sort of healthy outlet, whether it be exercise or the creative arts, to help you sort of deal with those everyday stresses. So most of the time when I speak at empowerment workshops, I'm in a room full of people who are already empowered, and so they're kind of going sort of to sort of like sharpen their self-esteem. I feel like a lot of the work that I do as a motivational speaker and workshop facilitator is to really work with those who don't have that self-esteem, who don't have that sense of self, because that's what's lacking. And why have an empowerment event if we're not going to have people who actually need to be empowered versus people who are already empowered? My workshops and speaking, again, are for women, for teenagers, and for people who work with them. But I will say that whenever I write, whatever I share, I'm first coming from the lens of a Black woman living in America. So that is what my work is for. So that is what my poetry that I've written is for. That is what most of my books are for. But it doesn't mean that you can't learn from them. My dream is that women will live their lives unabashedly. And what I mean by that is that they will make decisions for themselves and not based on what society expects them to be. That they will be fearless in pursuit of their own dreams and fearless in pursuit of setting standards for how they will allow everyone to treat them, and that they will do whatever it is that makes them happy and joyful, and that they will create positive experiences with other women and help to empower other women. For booking information, you can visit www.brendaschild.com. I'm available for motivational speaking as well as facilitating workshops for both professionals who work with youth and women and youth and